Hey everyone, in today's video, we're going to be focused on configuring Captive Portal rules within our Captive Portal app. So let's scroll down and jump into the Captive Portals application within Cisco Spaces. So Captive Portal rules are the tool that's going to bring your Captive Portals to life. It's going to add context for any vertical or use case or workflow that you're interested in providing for a Captive Portal experience. So if we move over to the Captive Portal Rules button on the left-hand menu, here you'll see all of the Captive Portals that are already live or being drafted or created. To create a new rule, we'll go to the top right here and we'll click Create New Rule. So first step, of course, is giving the rule a name. So we'll just say Coffee Shop New Customer. All right. So we've got the name Coffee Shop New Customer. First, we'll need to choose our sense, or what SSID that we want to apply this rule to. So we want it to be on the guest network. So let's just go to guest SSID. Next, we'll get to choose our location for where this rule in particular applies. So again, just like in other menus, we will get to click on location and we will get our full location hierarchy. And so we can, again, depending on how locations are set up and the vertical you are within, we can drill down, from a top level location all the way down to a floor or a zone level, depending how the hierarchy is set up. For the sake of this rule, we'll just click on America. We want this rule to apply to all locations within that part of the hierarchy. So we click done. Tons of rules and how we want to apply them to our guests. And so we can use a lot of different filtering. Filtering by metadata is an option where we can include, only show for locations that have the following metadata associated to them. And then if we go in the metadata, we're going to have all the places where our metadata was created, which is in the location hierarchy separate from this menu. Which isn't populated here, but it would be if it was pulled in from the location hierarchy. So let's just cancel out of that. And we can also do the same thing, but exclude. So any things we don't want to include tied to the specific metadata. Next, who do we want to apply these rules to? So what type of person are we going to allow this rule to align with? Is it going to be a new customer? They want to see a certain type of Captive Portal. A returning customer wants to see something specific. Maybe there's a coupon that's 20% off of our returning customers. You kind of get the idea of like how customizable this can be depending on the onboarding status of a visitor, the opt-in status. So if they opt in to receive additional marketing, we can give those folks a different experience. We can also do filtering by tags. Again, the same idea of who we want to include and exclude in this. So we can tag, again, as repeat visitors, new guests, maybe at certain times of the day. The people that come in might be associated with a certain type of tag. For instance, like someone only shops on Fridays, they may get a different experience than shoppers the rest of the week or on the weekend. And then we can also, again, filter by previous visits so we can understand if there's a return customer and they can get a unique experience. Then, if we scroll down, this is where we can schedule how to apply these rules. So we can set a date range for the rule. So, the rule will only apply for the selected date range that we choose. Next would be a time range. So again, we might have different engagements for folks that come in the morning as opposed to during rush hour or a different part of the day. And then the last filtering option for the schedules is going to be by day of the week. And then as we move down, we get into our actions. So this is what is going to happen when this type of person within this schedule that we've created, what they're going to engage with in terms of the actual Captive Portal. So this is ID, this person at this time of day is going to see the welcome guest captive portal at that time. And from here, we can apply additional rules like the session duration, if we want to restrict bandwidth, if we just want to engage seamless provision of internet, so just directly providing them access to the internet without any sort of authentication. That's an option, depending on, again, the vertical. Or depending on these rules, we can deny someone internet. Maybe it's a competitor or someone that we've identified that should not be using our internet. We can deny those users. And then we can also add tags to said users, and we can choose whether or not to associate or disassociate users based on those tags. And then if we want to be able to trigger an API call based on what this user's gone through, we can do that as well. We see we have a get, post form, JSON, and body. And then you can fill out the rest of the information there and complete that rule. So we will save and publish this. There we go. We have Coffee Shop New Customer. We can see that our rule as of 8:13 p.m. is live. And so all the guests that fall into that criteria that we've set, based on the type of user they are, based on the schedule and how we want to present the captive portal, they will see that and engage with the process that way. So appreciate your time. This video was to cover captive portal rules. Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to the next one. Thanks, everyone.